I really like this
Let's
movie.
okay. Let me give the rundown.
Oh,
It's a set in Mississippi. 1960s. Skeeter uh is a Southern society girl who returns from college, determined to become a writer, but turns her friends' lives in a Mississippi town upside down when she decides to interview black women who spent their lives taking care of predominantly Southern families. Abilene, Skeeter's best friend and housekeeper, is the first to open up. The dismay of her friends is a tight knit black community. Despite Skeeter's lifelong friendship hanging in the balance, she and Abilene continue their collaboration, and soon more women come forward to tell their stories. And it turns out they have a lot to say. All right, go ahead, El. You were saying
I was saying I really like this movie, but I don't like it for the traditional reasons. And I don't know what your questions are, so I'm gonna follow your lead. But I have a lot to say about this movie, and this is why whenever
okay,
you had set the schedule, I'm like, I want to do the help, like because I have a lot to say about this movie. Nikki said in the comments, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack because it's still so coded, right? But I'm sure we'll get
right,
into it. I'm excited. Yeah, this is gonna be a good discussion.
okay, okay. Of course, this movie is a drama movie. No other genres, straight drama. But for those who have, for whatever questions I may have, it's not a true story. So, boom, they go to icing on the cake. But my first question we're gonna lead is, what does Viola Davis think about this movie?
So I actually recently read that she regrets doing this role.
Glad you did.
I
You remember what she said?
did. No, I don't know her quote, but I did see that because when I'm on a show, I want to do my own research and I want to make sure that I understand all the things that I'm privileged to say on a platform. So
Hmm.
I did see that she regretted doing the movie, and I think it was largely because at that point in time, she was not as big as she is now, and she
True.
was she had played several roles like that, and it kind of
True.
goes into that like kind of trope, like you know what I'm saying, ideals that we have of black women and being domestic workers and being
Mm.
the people that catch everything and get no credit for it, right? Like it just kind of goes
Right.
deeper
Right.
into to how that is. So I don't know exactly what she typecasting for sure. I don't know exactly what she
Okay.
said, but
What Viola Davis what Viola Davis said, 2011, the film helped because, I mean, she read the film helped because it was created with semantic racism and a white savior narrative. So if
mm-hmm.
you type
Right.
that in on the internet, anybody, and I'm willing to give you, let's just call it a castle tonight. No, I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, if you type it in, you type in white savior narrative. It's only a few movies gonna pop up, which I believe is five. And the one that's recently wrote, with the lady, she wrote the movie, the book about the boy, and she said it was, all her, and turned out to be the boy, protest against the book, and the book got took back. So it's kind of like that. That's what she said. She said it was a white savior narrative,
For sure.
whereas if yeah, yeah. Dirt. No, I could look it up real quick, but it's another book. American Dirt. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, she points out it's a white savior narrative as Skeeter comes to the rescue, and it's kind of like one of those things where the voice was, it was still about her in the end. It was still about the book, which Viola Davis' part was really she was the writer. She just didn't have that push.
Which is so crazy because when we think about a lot to unpack, that's one of the underlying themes in this movie, and then it's just doubled out on at the end whenever these stories that sell this, what, how many copies, 6 million, 7 million
See,
copies
yeah,
on the New
yeah,
York
yeah.
Times best selling list for years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's still at the end of the day the black story that pushes it. And what um, is frustrating
Mhm.
is in media, especially whenever they're deeper toned, especially whenever they're not like super skinny women, right? Whenever they maybe have a little more
Right.
experience, they're not like in their 20s, So we like to see the visual aspect of as black people, of these women making history, being in these films, acting their butts off, perfecting their craft, and
Mm.
telling good
Mm.
stories. But at the same time, it's like, is this what we're here for? It just reiterates that we are the ones that have to push the culture. We are the ones that have to, and then not get the credit for it, which is again solidified by the book selling 8 million copies because it's centered around a white story that happens to have black people in it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And
It
it's
just happens that
yeah, yeah, and it's called literally The Help. Like it's literally called
damn.
The Help. And like I get
Well,
it, you know,
the
I get it.
butler.
But that's another great example, right? Like that's another
Right.
I
Right.
so and it's not to say that they're not good movies. It's a good story. You get the emotional aspect, you get the anger aspect. It takes you on a
Right.
roller coaster of emotions and everything. But at the end of the day, I don't think we were not the target audience for this movie. We were not the target audience
You
for
hit
this
it dead
movie.
on the nail. You hit it dead on the nail
This
because
movie
it's still
frames white stories, right? Like I said, that happens to
yeah.
have black people in it, and makes the white storyteller, the catalyst for change. When in
Right. Right.
reality, we have been telling our stories. Y'all just weren't listening, and it just
One
doubles
listening.
down on the fact that other people have to make our experiences valid by them telling them rather than us keeping our power and being able to tell our own stories.
Well, that's how y'all. So that's how we open up the show. We gonna yeah. That's the other movie with the white narrative, Blindside. It's only a few movies with that in there.
And no, there's a lot. There's the one. There was Dangerous Minds when the white teacher came into the black school,
Right.
and Hillary
That's
Swank,
three.
Freedom. I forget what.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Freedom Writers with Hillary Swank when she played a white teacher? Then there was
Freedom Riders. I believe that was another one.
and then Save the Last Dance. But go ahead.
Uh, yeah, I put that in there, but yeah, it's kind of like skating on the outside.
You got it. You might have to dig a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I want to let y'all in on a secret. That girl really couldn't dance. Okay, shout out to Julia.
Exactly. She could. Let's get into the likes. Give me two likes you liked about this movie. Just two to start
Yeah.
us with.
Um, I like that the white women were the villains and the black women were the voice of reason, the ones with common
Mm-hmm.
sense, the ones that were self aware. I like that you got to see just how dangerous. Um, I, well, we here it's Black History Month. I like that you got to see how dangerous white women can be, um, and how
Mm.
how outspoken and bold um, their existence and entitled their existence can be, especially in the world of being a black woman whenever you're directly affected by her privilege, right? Their privilege.
Right.
I also think that, I mean, I like the aspect of like you get to tell your story, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like it was overshadowed by the actual author, the person who got the credit. But I do think it's important to tell your story. I'm a very big advocate of people, especially women, especially black women, telling their stories, owning their stories, stepping into their power, and using their stories to fuel them into being the people that they want to be. So I do like that aspect of it. Um, but I really enjoyed also Adeline, or what's her name, Aibileen, and
Abilene.
Millie's
Just give me
friendship.
two. Just give me
Oh,
two, and
sorry.
cause yeah. Just give me two for right now, and then I'm gonna do my two, and I'm gonna
Okay.
jump all the likes into that. All right. So my first like would be the line. Eat my shit.
Yeah.
What did you say? I said eat my shit. Have you lost your mind? No, ma'am. But you about to, cause you just did. So yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
my one. And my two is when Celie she walked into the ballroom with the red dress on. When she did, I said, "Oh
Mhm.
yeah, you can't get no better than what they call oblivious." Like she is oblivious to her white privilege. Like she even like when she sat down and she talked to I think it was Minnie, and Minnie was like, "Don't you take them women no more pies." She had to tell her how to be white because the white privilege, like you said, is seeps out their pores. You know, they kind of oblivious to some of the things they do, not some of the things, all the things they do in this movie. So yeah, those would be my two first two.
Okay.
And yeah, you can go ahead and give us all your likes.
Oh, all the lights.
Yeah, you can give me all of them.
Um.
You can save some for the last discussion too if you like.
Okay. I definitely like. Obviously, y'all know the line from the movie. You is kind. You is smart. You is important. I be saying that to
Oh
myself
my god.
sometimes. Okay, like I know, but I do like that, right? Because
Affirmation.
if
Just
we're let me say it like this: if we're focusing on what is us, and we're
mm,
focusing on the impact that we have, when you think about the person that they're growing up to be, the
mm,
influence is so strong, you know. And
mm,
had she not had that sort of foundation, um, I'm talking about Skeeter. Had she not had that sort of foundation, she may not have even been able uh, to tell the stories, right? But beyond that, because taking that away from the story, just thinking about like it just reminds me of like my mother's love. You know what I'm saying? It just reminds me of like
mm.
just like the things that my aunts would tell me or that my grandmother would
Right,
tell
right.
me, and just like the things that like you have those little special moments, those intimate moments with your elders, and it's like um they just know how to speak to your heart in a different way. They understand where
Mm-hmm.
you like, they've been there, they've done all of that. So I appreciated that aspect of it. Not so much that it was to a little white girl, right? But I
I
also
mean,
don't fault
yeah,
the little
I
white
agree.
girl. But I also don't fault the little white girl on that part. That's why I can say that I like that part. But yeah, I really like that. And then go ahead, because I had to think about. There was another part that I was like, yep, that's it.
Okay, I got some ready. I got a few ready over here. Um, when she was in there, when Minnie was teaching that lady how to cook some chicken, and she was shaking that bag. I was, if I was a slave, I would have said, "You will get this bag out your hand, ma'am. You making us look bad. Like, come on, we trying to teach you how to cook some chicken." And she didn't start. You doing too much with the chicken, man. It's already dead. So it was another part that when she told her to put her article in the paper, I hollered. When she came outside and there was some commodes in her paper, I thought she wrote coats. The second time I watched the movie, I seen she whited out coats and put commodes. I said, "Oh my god, she did do that for real."
Yeah, they didn't hold back on that one. And then I just hold on, what did I had something written down about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
the okay, so like the symbolism behind the toilets, right? Because
Mhm.
the toilets, in my opinion, was like equivalent to like a water fountain, right? Or like a counter that you can sit at, whatever, right? And it
Right.
just like it I thought it was interesting that these people were so concerned about like you already are in your house. Like it's already segregated. Like you live in your house with your immediate family. What you know what I mean? So what is the I just felt like the it was powerful to see segregation in a home. You're used to seeing it in public. You know what I mean? You're used to seeing it in um, a space that can be intruded from either party, if that makes sense. This is literally your home, and you are so bothered by blackness that you have to segregate your home. That just stuck out to me.
Well,
You
I
know,
mean, I want to say heck yeah it did because that's why she got the doodle pie.
right? Oh yeah, that's definitely why.
That
That's
was the
definitely
first
why.
thing that. That's why she got the doodle pie. When she put that woman out, fired her in the storm. 18 people died. 10 black, 8 and 8 white. So yeah, she came with that pie right after that. That was kind of like,
As she should, and that's another part that I like.
yeah.
I like whenever she found out when she was reading the book and she found out what was in the pie.
Every time, time, every time that was the
I be
funniest
like,
part. Yeah, yeah. I mean, she
uh,
couldn't go nowhere. But like she said, I don't want to skip too far, but she said, she gonna defend that to her grave.
hmm
She said she gonna defend that wasn't her until that was really another one of my likes too. When she won it at the ball, when they went to the ball and she was dressed up and all the help was there, and many pie won. She was like, I won. It's because the mother bought the pie and she put her daughter's name on there to win, and she was like, I'm keeping my pie. I paid good money for it, and she was like, she was like,
okay,
you put my name in it. Yeah, she was like, you put my name in there. What?
yes, yes,
So yes, yes. All that, like you said, it has its own metaphor for whatnot. You know what I mean? It takes you there, but it is and it's still some. We can get into the dislikes. I don't want. I kind of got flustered and inside when I wanted to talk about the dislikes, but
yeah, I know.
you got any more likes before we go into the dislikes?
Um, I want to say something. Yeah, I visual reference like a clean cut example of
Mhm.
like what allyship is and isn't. And I feel like there was no clear ally in the help. And I know the Skeeter was like she was the protagonist, but she was not an ally because her allyship was limited and self-serving. And I feel like
Mhm.
so many times, whenever we think of people like well to do liberals or white people that want to be down, like I feel like so many times they want to center their voice about our problems. This kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. But
Mhm.
to me, like whenever I have these conversations in mixed company, this is a solid example of like what I mean when I say not centering the black voice. You're centering black stories without centering a black voice. How is that possible? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And y'all are about here buying 6 million copies of it. So be for real. Um, but I like that it gave a clear example of like this is not true allyship. This is not really what you want to do if you're a true advocate. Um, if you believe in equality and humanism, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah,
Mm.
that's where I'm at with it. I just felt like this was a good example of like um not true allyship, and how it could look like it and how it could feel like it, but at the end of the day, it's not. So,
So good time to plug the show. Welcome to Playback. I am your host, Big Brother TTG. This is my co-host, the beautiful L the Drug. If
hey,
y'all not fave her right now, I think y'all done start tripping without a map, y'all. Y'all somewhere. But yeah, please make sure y'all fave her. Fave everyone in the comments. Fave my 1, 2, and 3. We about to get into the dislikes and the comments. If y'all have anything that y'all seen in the movie, drop it in there. Or if y'all heard something that we say and y'all want to piggyback off of it, please do so because this is a review. There are no right or wrong answers. We're just here to review. You know what I mean? We having a lot of fun right about now, and we about to do these dislikes. So I don't know. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
L, you got a dislike for me, or should I open up?
I don't like Miss Tilly at all. I don't like
I
her.
think I think the comments was ahead of you on that one.
Don't let me
I
change
think
her, bruh. She
I
don't
thought I
get
saw that earlier.
you know how we got a list, you know how like black people got a list of people that are not okay with us, like George Zimmerman
Right,
and like the woman that killed Selena, right? And like you know what I'm
right,
saying? Like
right,
there's people that we just don't bang with. Miss Tilly's one of them ones, bro. I do not bang with her at all. She gets on my nerve, and I'm so glad
right, right,
I wouldn't have been able to make it back then. Wouldn't have. They'd have been like they'd have thought I was cool because you know that my color a little bit more palatable to them, but you know, it would have been, I don't know. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
ain't no way.
Ain't no way. You want me
Give
to
me,
go
give me, give me
home?
one more. Give me one more dislike, because I think
um,
we all got that one.
so the other dislike is you was kind, you was smart, you was important, right? I said it, I did it, I liked it, right? But at the same
Earlier,
time,
yeah,
like
right.
I didn't, like I'm like, why does this speak need to go? Because like, wow, I know because of I have my own personal experience with it. When it's depicted in the media, people tend to think this is the reality for everybody. So why
That's
is this
yeah.
like? Oh, that's it. Just kind of it reinforced like that we have to like when it's difficult to love our own children, when it's difficult to love our own family, we just have all this
Mm,
love for these white people, like, and it's like, bruh,
mm,
no, no. So, you know, I didn't like that part as well.
mm. I'm gonna piggyback off that. I didn't like none of it as far as like the you said the visual earlier. The visual, it had to be harder than it. Back then, I mean, me speaking, I'm from the city. I'm from the country. A few my grandmother was died. She died of maid. I mean, my grandmother died of maid. Um, right here in the heart of the city, not far from Martin Luther King was assassinated. Like it's real in my city, but that it had to be hard. Like they painted a good picture, but I just believe it was harder. And I like the comical part of the movie, but I dislike the way they portrayed it to be such a easy task to go. You know, we gonna get into the part of some more parts we seen too, but yeah, just going through an everyday life, which I understand it's a movie. I kept telling myself it's a movie. It's just a movie, you know. But it had to be hard.
I agree. I don't. I think, in fact, I think the movie was like criticized for not being as historically accurate or not truly depicting like what racism felt like in that time. Like they really only had like Miss Hilly be the villain. You know what I mean? But like in reality, you have like everybody. You know what I'm saying?
The entire
Everybody.
community,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
everybody. The police and the people in government, like everybody. You know, and
yeah,
I think also it lacks like explaining how systemically it works, right? It was not racism is not a personal thing; it's a systemic thing that leaks into the way that we live our lives personally. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So I feel like that wasn't addressed as well, if that makes sense. I feel like there should have been
No,
more
that's good.
emphasis on the fact that like that you could even do this, that you could even, you know, like because again, this is people risking their lives, right? There ain't no way
Right,
that we're just about to let them walk through the. Like, that's not.
right. You just not walking through the community like that. That's give or take. Cause I visited New Orleans and I seen plantations. I paid my mission fee, went on the plantation. It gives you this haunted spirit. It's dark. You feel me? Like it's gloomy, and you can almost just feel the hatred on the plantation just by looking at it. You know what I mean? And thinking of what you had to do 7 days a week for the minimum pay of 50 cents, 75 cents a week. Uh,
Crazy.
But give me one more.
Dislike?
Hmm.
Um,
Or did you give me two? Did you give me two?
I don't know. If you need me to give you one, I have one.
Yeah, yeah, just one more. Then I'm gonna get into mine.
The
Cause
silence.
we said Hilly was the
Oh
first
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I said
Okay, so yeah, you did get me to it.
okay.
Okay, so okay, let me tell y'all my dislike. They cooked them devil legs without paprika. I almost cut a flip. I seen that part again, and she said, "Ooh, don't give me." Viola was like, "No." She told Octavia, she said, "No, I don't want them. Give me the one with the paprika."
Yeah. Right. Don't play. I'm cracking up because everybody knows you need that little red on top of the deviled eggs
You
to
need that
kick it
little
off.
red. Like,
Okay.
what is?
Adorn them.
Yeah.
Keep
So,
them.
Yeah, that was definitely my dislike because I was like, what? Oh, okay, yeah, I caught him slipping. I caught him slipping with that one. But it's in there a couple of times, and I hate she stole that ring for they tuition to school. I hate she stole that ring. When she found that ring behind that couch, in my mind, I said she gonna give it back to them and try to persuade them. Like, I found this ring, and if you don't mind, if I, could get a reward, woo, 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 something. But she kept it, and she tried to pawn it, and that's why the police ended up catching her. And she was like, "Get my purse, get my purse," and then they just hit her upside the head. You know what I mean?
Do you
Yeah.
hate that she stole it, or do you hate what happened because she stole it?
I hate she stole it because I mean, honesty is the key for you to survive in that time. Like if you did some things back then, you had to be 100% honest. It really wasn't no shade of gray or, like you said earlier, though, your voice was not heard, regardless of what you did. So imagine have to be confronted about something. Like at the end, I'm gonna skip to that part. It's a part two where she told her it's in my dislike. She said she stole the silverware, 3 silverware, two. She counted them the two spoons and one fork. In my mind, I said, "What? Two, two spoons?"
And I know, because that sounds crazy, especially in today's day and age. But
Exactly.
that speaks to, in my opinion,
Mhm.
the level of survival.
Mhm.
It wasn't about living, it was about surviving. There was no
At that,
luxury in
yeah.
it, you know? And
Mhm.
it goes to black moms always, always finding a way to provide, right? No matter what, no
Mhm.
matter your back against the wall, no matter who's against you, a black mom, if anybody can pull it off, forget Santa. A black mom gonna pull it
A
off,
black mom can
period.
pull off. Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time. And it goes to bravery and sacrifice. What you're willing to sacrifice to see your kids prosper. You
Mm.
know, like
Mhm.
I think that, so I get what you're saying, and I hate that that happened, but I'm not mad at her for stealing, because like,
No, no. Right.
you know what I'm saying, like that we
Mhm.
don't have nothing, and I'm working my life away, pouring this into your family, and mine is hurting.
Suffering. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
barely
Yeah.
surviving, and
Right.
and I'm a maid. I'm your maid. I'm the help. You have help. I don't have silverware. You know. So
It's a touching moment. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But those are my two dislikes. Yeah. It just, yeah, it was kind of hard. It was hard to watch that, for her to get, beat like that over that ring. And, I was thinking to myself, like, man, I thought she was going to get away. And then at the same time, I was like, whatever happened, then it just pops up
I
and
was gonna
she's,
say they
yeah,
almost set it up like it's good, so you're not thinking about it anymore. And then all
yeah,
of a
it
sudden it's
was.
like, oh my
It
goodness,
was.
she still got that ring. You
Yeah.
know.
Cause that's why she kept hollering, give me that purse.
Right.
If,
Exactly.
if that was, what I'm saying, the case. Cause in my mind, I was like, shit, she got rid of that ring. Cause,
Yeah, I was surprised she was carrying it around. That's true.
well, in the next scene, they sitting in the restaurant and they walk in and they say, "Oh, they knew who she was right away. How could she afford such a big ring like that?" And they went straight to her job. So, give or take, it probably was engraved, just to say for movie sake. That's why I say sometimes I always say it's just a movie, Big
Yeah.
Brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's just because I'm thinking like I would have kept it for another 2 years and appraised it, and
But they
you
needed
know
it
what I
then. They
mean.
needed it then. Yeah, the
They needed it
diamonds.
right now. They needed, like
Yeah.
you said, right now.
Hmm.
Yep. So moving right along. This is playback. I'm your host, Big Brother TCG. This is my co-host, the beautiful L, the drug. We about to finish the reviews. We'll finish this review, and we doing dislikes right now. If y'all know any dislike about the movie to help, please drop them in the comments. You got any more, L? How many more you got? Go ahead and dump them all on us.
I said my big ones. Um, yeah, I think I said my big ones.
The big ones,
Um,
you already said the big ones. Come on,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I'm trying to think. What else was I like?
I dislike that her husband beat her after the fire after she got fired. I I
Mm,
I really was like, dang. And Octavia Spencer's a great actor,
mm-hmm,
and she had me convinced. You know what I mean? But
mm-hmm.
she was tough. She was one tough
She
cookie.
was so resilient. She was so resilient. She's one of them ones that you're like, dang, how did you make it through like her character?
Mm.
You know? And yeah, can we unpack that for a minute? Just can we
Yeah.
cook for a second on that? Because I
Come
want
on.
y'all to understand, like, she was getting it from every direction. From every direction. Like, there was no one that was there to have her back, support her, except for, um, wasn't it
Abilene. Abilene.
Abilene, excuse me. I be wanting to call
Hmm.
her Nikki's public name, Maybelline, but that's another story. Okay, but um, yeah, she was getting it from everywhere, and
Every
there
angle.
was no the thing about this particular character. She didn't have it at home.
Mm.
She didn't have it at work. She didn't have it going to or from work. She didn't have it
Hmm.
outside in her community. There was no space, and I think that that's an experience that a lot of Black women share. And I think that's an experience that's often overlooked, and even in this movie was overlooked. But when you see it straight up there, and you have I guess like you might have a similar or relatable experience or feeling
Right.
to what you're seeing. It sticks out like a sore thumb, but I felt that, and I feel like that's accurate. I really do. There have been so many times when I've been talking with my girls or just like, you know, chopping it up with my friends, and it comes up. There's nowhere that we feel safe. There's nowhere that we feel protected. A lot of times it's lacking from whatever romantic relationship you're in. It's
Hmm.
lacking from whatever societal protections you need. It's lacking from financial disparity. Like there's just no safety. And Black women are the ones that have to take take that narrative and
Hmm.
manually change it and struggle to change it and work so hard to change it, and some don't even see the reap the benefits of facilitating all of this change. um but I think that that's something that was important to the movie because it's important to Black women's experiences, and I did feel that that was accurate, unfortunately. um and I mean, I say safe space as in like, because we see she was physically harmed, we see she was physically in danger, but those same protections like lack in emotional, spiritual, um, emotional, mental. So um, I did have an appreciation for that part of the story being told.
Right. Yeah, because it was led to believe that they couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't do anything, and most of them women had sons that graduated high school or daughters that graduated high school. So some of the struggle that, like you were saying, was put on the women's backs was actually like that's an everyday backpack or everyday bag that you got to carry with you
Every day.
everywhere you go every day, right? So yeah, I mean me alone, like I said, where I grew up at, in the projects we see it a lot. It's not no common thing, or it's not even irregular. Like people don't even ask if your dad in the house. Like that's not even a question. You got a
Mm,
dad? Like yeah, they're not asking it. They know your mama the only person. Like that's how the projects was. Who
wow.
lived with you? Your mom? No, ain't nobody care your dad. You got a dad, fool? That was amazing. Like y'all just did something. Yeah, so it's kind of like that in our culture anyway, coming from 400 years of slavery plus another. segregated era where we was already against each other mentally,
Mhm.
and we have to struggle to break those same chains. Is what you're saying too. Piggyback on what you're saying too. So yeah, I got another dislike. I'm gonna say Hilly. She just was delusional, right?
Oh my
She had this, she had this made up dude that she kept trying to get Skeeter to write about, and he never showed up. And I kept in my mind, I kept thinking at one point, I was like, maybe he is gonna show. He ain't coming. At the end of the movie, I was like, I knew it wasn't nobody, but
Yeah,
yeah, I just, yeah.
she's a demon. She's a demon. She's
Oh
actually
yeah,
just
she
wants to
was
make things terrible for everyone because she's miserable. The worst type of
right.
person.
Oh yeah, because the community definitely thrived off her. She had a lot of people that would, probably respect her. She, put stuff in the articles and she wrote some. That's why I said the commode thing was so crazy. Like for her to say, I said coats. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, now you got commodes. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, if she say some stuff, it probably, like you said, to be in under her thumb. You know what I'm saying? Under her
Yeah,
thumb.
her influence is really, really strong. And that's why whenever you said what's another dislike in my mind, I'm thinking silence, right? Because
Hmm.
the movie existed because people were silent. People that knew that it was me, they were intimidated, right? And they didn't want
Yeah.
to say anything. And so they stayed silent, they stayed quiet, and they allowed injustice to prevail because they couldn't, and that's why I say that outlet
Mm.
is limited. That's why I say it's limited to like self-serving and like you looking like the savior, like the white people looking like the savior.
Yeah,
Um,
the Navy, the
but
there.
yeah,
Back to
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. All right. This is playback. I'm your host, Big Brother TTG. This is my co-host, the beautiful Elder Drug. We doing Black History Month edition, feature show panel crossover. Shout out to Big Dog for putting this together. This is my fourth and final episode I have for this month. But all right, we can get into the scenes. Got any scenes for us that you would like to talk about?
Um, I think the first one that definitely comes to mind as I'm going through my list is whenever Millie finally stands up for herself.
Mm.
Whenever she gets a little sad, she gets a little pep in her step. You could tell she feels better afterward. Um, and it was just like you're almost like you're waiting for that moment the whole movie, right? So when it finally
Yeah.
happens, you're like, yeah, tell her, um, you be like cheering for her like it's a sports game or
Right.
something. But that was like, that's definitely a big moment. It
It
stands
stuck
out to
out.
me.
Hmm.
Um, I also like there's the one white girl that's like, um, she's like not well liked. She's kind of the outcast. She's not under Hilly's influence like that. She's I forget her
Is
name.
that Sealy?
Yeah,
Um.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
yeah. That's the.
I thought that that was a special moment. I felt like her compassion
Hmm.
um allowed her to see Millie as a human when the world didn't see her like that. She saw some of her
Right.
vulnerability. She saw some of her struggle, like, and even if she didn't fully relate to it, like she
Hmm.
empathized with that. And so that is an example, in my opinion, of an ally. You know,
Mm.
because there was literally nothing in it for her to get. Even though the
Hmm.
book it may have helped some of the black women tell their stories. That was self-serving. It was about her career, what she needed to do in order to make it. Da 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 da. Um, so I yeah, Miss Billy, I enjoyed her compassion towards Millie.
Okay.
Yeah, those are two of the
Yeah, I did. I actually did too
my favorite
because
character, Millie.
it was the scene where she bust through the bathroom door, and I'm a guy, ladies. I do have feelings. I cared. It was a baby. She had to bury the baby, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, that was what she was saying as far as like those babies loved them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the babies didn't know no different. You know what I mean? The babies ain't born racist, and you know what I'm saying. It's something that's taught, breeded
Yeah.
into your mind, not your DNA. But yeah, I actually seen that scene, and I was like, dang, she lost her baby, and I'm like, I'm feeling it, like, dang, because she bust through the door, and she was like, it's why is it so much blood? Like like you said, compassion, but she doesn't understand a lot of things in life because she can't cook for one, so I'm pretty sure some more things she can't do. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you talking about yeah, full what they call it, miscarriage. Oh God,
I was really sad.
I don't know, ladies. Is it painful? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like the compassion, like you said, for her to she just laying there like, and she helped us and she helped her get up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Um.
yeah, it went. Oh, that would be my scene.
That's your scene. Okay,
Yeah,
we
she
have one of
busted
the
the
same
bathroom.
ones. Yeah, we have one of
Yeah,
the
that's why I
same
say
ones.
I can definitely use that one.
Yeah. Um. I also like the scene when they walking on the bridge, when they're on the bridge, and they're talking about if they're gonna do the book, and they're talking about, um, I mean, we're I think that everyone's like, that's scary, that's dangerous, like they could really
Yeah,
get you, like
yeah,
and I just think it just goes to, like I said, the bravery and the sacrifice that you have to be
right.
willing, or that you had to be willing to face, in that day and age, and in that city. Um, I felt like there was a spirit of sisterhood there because they was doing it together, like we gonna do this. I felt like there
Mm.
was a spirit of, and even though it was scary, it was also hopeful because it's like we about to ride out, like and the location where we
strap,
finna be
strap,
at.
strap up, strap them
Yeah,
boots
like so
up.
it kind of gets you pumped, but it's also very nerve wracking. And they're wonderful actresses, so I felt like that was
Oh
a really
yeah.
good scene too. They built that beautifully. They built that tension beautifully.
Okay, okay, okay. So we go ahead and dump all our scenes in it. You got it. You can go ahead and dump all your scenes in there. You got some.
Those were the ones that stood out. Those are the only ones I have written down.
Okay, I got another one for y'all. When Minnie was coming to Silly House with those groceries, and the husband pulled up in his car, and he was like, "Come here," and she was like, "Ah, help me!" That because she kept saying, "If your husband come here and catch me in here, he gonna shoot me dead."
Hmm.
And in my mind, when I see him pull up behind her in his fancy car, I was like, "Is
Ooh,
he finna kill her?"
ooh, right.
But
She was nervous.
yeah, yeah, she just took out running, and I just hollered. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's funny. That is funny."
That is funny.
'Cause-
It's truth.
well, I
It's
mean, because
honest.
he's
Honest truth.
well, because I mean, he said it. Y'all. I knew the first night. The first night, he was like, "I don't care what y'all cook. That wasn't her cooking. Like, nah."
Hmm.
So yeah, that would be one of my things that I thought was probably like realistic. You know what I mean? Like I don't care what you say, woman. This man catch me, he gonna take me down through there.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
thought it was good too how they like used comedy to make that scene. You know what I mean? Like, because it was funny.
right, right, yeah. Because I mean, you don't know if you actually there in that time, and you know you ain't supposed to be on this property.
Hmm.
Yeah, they back then they were hanging black men from trees, so I don't know what they probably doing to women. So yeah, you know what I mean. It's probably some other stuff they were doing to women, because they castrate these men. But yeah, I know we've been doing a lot of Black History Month over here. We've been doing show for show, so we didn't been through a few of them over here.
Love it.
Uh, all right, all right. So let's get into actors and actresses, and we're gonna wrap it up, put a bow tie on this thing. Any actress and actors or roles you liked or? I know you already said Minnie, but you can give
Yeah,
a real name.
that's my yeah, Octavia. That's my girl. Um, I love her. I love her because she's living her best life, is walking in her
Hmm.
craft, and she's a fat black woman, and that's not something that you typically see. That's not someone that's typically casted. So I applaud her. I applaud her skill, her craft. Viola is amazing. Viola, like obvious, like they had the right actresses.
There's some
And
chemistry.
Viola, that's not even like one of her best performances. So the fact that you know what I'm saying, she came through and turned up like that, truly amazing. I think Octavia won for best supporting actress in that
I think
movie. Did she
it
win an
it was
Oscar?
award. I think it was an Oscar.
Yeah, I
I
think she
believe it
won
was
for
an
that.
Oscar.
And then I mean, like Emma Stone's a wonderful actress too. I'm not going to shade her out of it because I didn't necessarily like her
No,
back then,
no,
but
because she's
you
white.
know,
No,
yeah,
she's
she's a good actress.
yes,
She's a
she's a
good
great
actress.
actress. Right.
Um, but I think that everybody did pulled their weight as far as like their craft. I mean, like I genuinely
Hmm.
don't like Miss Hilly or yeah, Miss Hilly.
Hilly. Yeah, you're right.
Um,
You're right.
I genuinely don't like her. If I see her on something else, I'll be like,
It's
oh,
on site.
I can't stand her. Like like she played her butt, she acted her butt off. So I think it was wonderfully cast. I really do. Um, and I think that even like how they said it, the hairstyles, the clothes, the way that they spoke,
All of that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
all of
was
that.
brilliant. It was really,
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, I enjoyed that part of it.
Okay, okay, okay. Because you named quite a few of mine, so let me shine some light on David Oleo. That was the guy that played Martin Luther King
Okay,
in Selma. He was Selma,
yeah.
and he also played. He was in Raising the Sun, Raising in the Sun, and he did Red Tail. Red Tail, I think, was one of his first movies. That's where I remember him from, because he
That's the
did a
one
great job
about,
in Red.
and I never seen Red Tails. Don't
That's
answer,
the
but
airplane,
yeah,
the
that's
bombers.
Tuskegee, right?
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
know about it, but I just never saw it. But I heard like there's, you know, they got
Yeah,
they
it's
got
some
good
of that in
reviews.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some of
Okay.
that in there. Go ahead, check it out.
Okay.
Um, that was definitely Cicely Tyson.
Oh, of course. Of
I
course.
adore her.
Yeah.
Like when I see her in movies, and she played Constantine in this one. So if
Mhm.
y'all still listening, Constantine is Cicely Tyson. Don't let that slip past you because her role in the movie, that's what we're talking about. It's more of a headlining for Skeeter. Since we
Mhm.
have no real background on Skeeter and we just know that she's Skeeter,
Mhm.
and out of nowhere, here comes this white girl, quote unquote, to save the day. So yeah, but she's in love with Constantine. That's
Mhm.
her um, nanny, I guess, because she would be the maid. So yeah, so Constantine is Skeeter's 29 years of raising her. So yeah, she got fired for somebody visiting her and she did nothing. But we have reached to the point where we do the discussion. And I would tell you this is one powerful movie. To touch on this a little bit, the movie in a way, and no other way or whatever political line is just a powerful movie. No other reason I said it because it's other movies that we have done, but this is just one of them. The casting and directing, acting top tier, all A's, and yeah, I cried. So what? I cried, I cried, I laughed, I cried, I laughed, and I'm a dude, and
You're
I say
white.
go, yeah, just go see the movie. You know what I mean? It's worth it. I'm Big Brother TCG, L the Drug, my host. L, let them know where they can find you at, and
Yes.
it's
Y'all,
been a
you
great
can
show.
find me. Ooh, look at the big box. Y'all can find me on Tuesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I host my own feature show. It's called Modern Day Bay. It's the only live stream podcast exploring self love and healthy modern day relationships. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts. So make sure you search us and listen to us. And make sure you tap in live, get in on the discussion every Tuesday at 11 p.m. right here on the Tagged app. I also be where the scouts is. I see Nikki down there. Y'all saw Casper in here earlier. Adorn was in here. There be content going on all the time. So if you ever bored and you're on the app and there's literally a show on every single day. So anytime you see That green and yellow symbol that Nikki 24/7 is throwing up in the comments. Stop in on the live. Stop in on him into Scout. Stop in on him. Say what's up. Say L sent me. Enjoy the content. And yeah, period. Thank you for having me, big brother.
No, no cap. It has been amazing. Y'all know what I'm about to do.